Hi, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tony Holowitz, and I want to thank you here for this discussion on tables for ACT. Just full disclosure, I am a partner with the company that makes this software called Tables for ACT. And this is going to be software that is becoming more popular with ACT users in the coming years as it's going to be incorporated a little bit more into ACT. So I just want to talk to you a little bit about it and try to give you some ideas on how you can use it. So for a moment, I just want you to think about what ACT is. ACT is a database manager or CRM in which you can add all kinds of information. And what we see on the screen right here is some basic information, almost like a Rolodex. But on that note, once you start working with ACT, you might want to customize it for your business. So by customizing it, that allows you to add fields within ACT to customize it to suit the way your business works and for the information you want to hold. But for a moment, I just want you to think about the following. I want you to think about the fact that your business, we're making up a business, it's an ice cream business. And this ice cream business is a business that wants to keep track of what its customers order. And it wants to keep track of that information in ACT. So one of the things we might take a look at is we might take a look at creating a layout that's a little bit different that has some fields already built into it. So ACT is really good in simplifying one-to-one items. In other words, let's say you have a customer come in and they order ice cream, and you want to keep track of that ice cream. Now, I've created two simple fields in ACT. I just simply called it ice cream 1 and ice cream 2. And what happens here is, let's say the customer comes in the first time and you want to keep track. Well, let's say the customer buys strawberry. Well, that was pretty easy. But where it gets a little more complicated is, let's say we wanted to track not only the kind of ice cream, but we also wanted to track, was it a cone or was it a cup? And what was the size of that ice cream? Was it a small, medium, or large? And then the customer comes back a second time. And then all of a sudden, that customer orders mint chocolate chip. But what happens if they come back a third or a fourth or a fifth or a 25th? Now it starts to get a little more complicated because in ACT we've got to create fields for ice cream 1, ice cream 2, ice cream 3. And just by the nature of the way ACT works, it's very hard to track that. So if you want to generate a report or find data based on what your customer likes, the size, the flavor, cone or cup, sugar cone, plain cone, what kind of information is it that you want? That's where it gets a little more tricky. Now, many of you have used Microsoft Excel. And because you know how Excel works, that's the kind of data you could keep in Excel, but you would have to keep a spreadsheet for each customer. And that starts to get a little complicated. So let me have you think about this for a moment. Imagine if we could have an Excel-like table or spreadsheet built right into ACT. Well, the possibility exists, and that is where the Tables for ACT comes in. And just to illustrate how that would work, Tables for ACT allows you to enter information without having to create 25 fields to track that. So let me show you how that would work. Let's say this guy, Tony Holowitz, comes on in and decides to order an ice cream. Well, I want to draw your attention down here to the Ice Cream 2018 tab down below. Also, if you look over here on the left, it's over here on the left-hand side at the bottom. And I can move that up a bit if I need to. I can move this a little bit as well. But if Tony Holowitz comes in today and wants to order an ice cream, all you have to do is click on the Ice Cream tab, and then over here where it says Add, simply click on Add. And a little box pops up. And just to illustrate the way this box can work is I've just simplified it. By default, it will automatically put in today's date. Under ice cream, I'm going to click on this drop down right here, and I'm going to choose pistachio, and I'm going to click OK. Under the serving type, I'm going to choose a plain cone. I'm going to click OK, and I'm going to click OK again, and I'm done. So now what you'll notice down here on the very bottom is that we have a total record of what kind of ice cream has been ordered. So if he comes in again, no problem. Just click on Add. Let's add another one. Let's say this time it's mint chocolate chip, and let's say this time it's in a cup, and I'm going to click OK. And I'm going to click OK again. So I've created a record for Tony Holowitz each and every time. I don't have to worry about fields, none of that stuff. So this particular database is a database of presidents of the United States. So let's say Herbert Hoover comes in and orders, well, let's go ahead a little bit. And let's say Lyndon, let's go past Lyndon for just a moment, go up one more. John F. Kennedy walks in, orders an ice cream cone. I'm going to click on add. Again, I'm going to come in here and click on pistachio. For the type, I'm going to do sugar cone and click OK. And OK again. So I think you're getting the gist of the way this works. We can create many records within ACT. But this is where it starts to get interesting. Over here on the left-hand side, I'm going to click on ice cream over here. And what we're going to see is a total record of all the people that have ordered ice cream. Now, one of the things I want you to observe right here is we see when it was created, we see the serving type, what kind of ice cream it was, who edited it or created that record, and the record creator. So edit is a little bit different, but this is where we can do some things with it. We can create as many fields as we want to track the information we want. We can also customize the columns we see. So in this area, we only see the information we want to see. Because the create date or the edit date is something that I really don't need, I'm just going to take that out. Because the record creator is important because you might want to know who created this record, who did this, who put this information in. That's another thing also that can be good to see. But what we also have the ability to do is we can actually add the contact name so that we know the contact who actually got that ice cream. So I've got contact in here. I'm just going to move it up a little bit. So we have create date, contact, the serving type. Let's do the ice cream first. Let's just move that up. The record creator, I'll just leave that at the bottom. I'm going to click apply. And now we have the contact that ordered the ice cream, the type of ice cream they want, sugar cone, and who created this record, and the date of the visit. So now we have the ability to come in and we can actually filter this if we want to. We can filter it based on any criteria we have here. So I'm going to clear this for a moment. Also, we can, let's just say I want to do pistachio. Okay, here's all the people that ordered pistachio. So what I'm getting at is this. When you work with tables for ACT, it gives you the ability to add a lot of information and then find that information when you need it. It's a total running record of your entire ACT database and things that have occurred. And here we'd be able to see historical data of what's happened as people have ordered ice cream over time. We can see if it's a cone, a cup, a plain, a sugar cone. We can see all kinds of things. So what I want you to think about is this. Tables for ACT is rather inexpensive. It's $60 per year per user. Now on that note, what it does is a ton. So I think in fairness to you, what you should recognize on your end, that most likely if you get this tool, you're probably going to need some help getting going and getting it set up. Also, there's going to be some new options for this type of tool going forward in the not too distant future. So I just want to give you an overview of what Tables for ACT is, how you can use it to track data, and also let's say you wanted more than just one what is called table. This is the ice cream table. Let's say we also wanted a table for ice cream sundaes. We could do that. If we sold other food, we could have another table for that, or we could put it all together. So it really gives you a lot of flexibility and the ability to work with a lot of data right within ACT. If you have outside sources of data, you can import it. If you have some data in fields already in ACT and you think this is a better way, that information can be imported as well. But again, I just want to make clear that although this is inexpensive software, it does so much that I'd urge you to think of it as a brand new piece of software. Think of it sort of outside of ACT. Think of it as something new that you will need to learn a little bit about and you'll most likely need some help with. I think if you go at it from that point of view, you're going to have a much better experience working with Tables for ACT. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, you can always reach back to me. I'd be more than happy to try to answer these questions to the best of my ability. And good luck. Have a great day. Bye now. Thank you.